welcome to Wisdom River Lodge. Boy, I'm going to learn to say that sooner or later. Too many W's, R's, and L's. So, welcome back. As you may or may not have figured out, we're doing the show the first and third Tuesdays of every month about this time, and this is a live call-in show. Numbers up, 664-4408. The show's only half an hour, so if you got a question, you need to call. And about 8:25 or so, the guys in the booth aren't going to be taking any more calls, so that if it's a lengthy thing, we won't go over time. So anyway, welcome back. And the first thing that I always do is check in. Last time we were talking about rituals, and the homework was to create a ritual. So did you? It was St. Patrick's Day, and we're coming into yet another holiday which has a ton of rituals attached to it. So call in, let me know. How did it go? What rituals did you create? How did they go? I'm guessing, however, people aren't going to call and tell me, but that's okay. So I got a couple of announcements. There's been a bunch of stuff going on at the lodge. We just completed a Reiki Level 2 class that was absolutely amazing. And the class agreed to sit and do some distant Reiki for a young man that we know, Jake Kaminsky, who's over in the Albany area. Jake has leukemia. He's an 8-year-old. And a day after we finished our class, we got a message from Jake's mom that his leukemia had gone into remission, and the doctors said that that was the fastest they'd ever seen anyone go into remission. So we'd like to wish Jake the best, and if you want to know more about Jake or see who we're talking about, he has a website. It's called Jake's War, and you can find him at jakeswar.com. He's also on the Friends page of my website, which is wisdomriverlodge.com. Hey, I got it out. One of the other things that I'd like to tell you about, and I got to pick up a piece of paper for this because I got to get all the details right, is on April 18th, that's coming right up here, that's next Wednesday, a week from Friday. Saturday, rather. A week from Saturday, April 18th, from 4 to 8 p.m., there's a spaghetti dinner. Our camera person, Satira Martin, is going to be going to Australia as a student ambassador with People to People. The event for her is going to be held at the Masonic Temple, and it's sponsored by the Lafayette Grey Lodge of North Adams. That's on Church Street here in North Adams. The fee is $7 per person, $5 for seniors, children under 5. There's going to be a silent auction and a 50-50 raffle. And some of the things that are going to be in the silent auction, there'll be a full hour private reading with me. And there'll be some Reiki healing cards and whatever else Satira wants, it'll be there. So we invite you all to come on out and support her. And we'll be talking more when she comes back in August from her journey in Australia. Cool. So congratulations, Satira. Satira's a 10th grader at McCann. So we're real proud of her. Oh, good job. And upcoming, pay attention to the web page. There's going to be, we're going to do a gallery style taping. It'll be closed, and for an hour I will be doing readings. If you've ever seen some of the psychics on TV and how they work, that's exactly what a gallery reading is. And we're going to have a live studio audience, although it will be taped. So keep watching the website. We'll have dates for that coming right up. So I've been getting some conversations going with some people, and I got a question in on my website, and the question was, Laura, you know, this psychic stuff, it's been around forever and ever and ever, and yet for some reason people don't seem to recognize the validity of it. And why is that? Well, I can answer that with one word. But before I do, what do you think every time you come across a psychic? I can tell you some of the things that happened to me. I ran into a guy in the laundromat the other day, and you know, you should watch for me. I'm all over town. I walk all over town. I go out, do my laundry. And the guy in the laundromat kept looking at me, and it was obvious that he recognized me, but he was actually afraid to talk to me. And a lot of the times I get questions from people the minute they find out I'm psychic, they want to know, am I going to read their mind? Well, as far as I know, mind reading is not a psychic thing. Other people say, you know, I don't want to know the bad things. Well, how do you know it's going to be something bad? And let me tell you, a reputable psychic isn't going to tell you that something bad is going to happen. They're going to tell you in a very different way that you need to pay attention to something. Other people say that, oh wow, I love when I lose my train of thought. Oh, other people think that we're conjuring up evil spirits. Well, let me tell you something. I can't conjure anything. If I could conjure, I'd conjure the lottery for myself. But conjuring doesn't happen. I often equate talking with spirit like making a telephone call. I can dial the number and hear it ring on the other end. Somebody may answer the phone or maybe not. And sometimes too, you know, we can make that phone call thinking that we're going to get Aunt Tizzy, and Uncle Joe answers instead. So there's no conjuring to it. So the biggest reason that people still don't work with psychics is that they're afraid. So tonight we're going to work a little bit about dispelling some of those myths and talking about some of those fears. So I got notes. You know, you get over a certain age and then your memory starts to go. Well, that happens to me too. So I hope you don't mind if I'm teaching from my notes here. Anyway, you know, fear's a pretty amazing thing, and fear has a lot to do with what we think and how we think, and those thoughts can limit everything that we do, from limiting to where we're at in life with money and with relationships, to just making us to the point where we can't even function during the day. And most of the time, people are afraid of things that they don't know about. And this whole psychic thing is something that most people don't really know about. They've got ideas from TV, or they've got ideas from the movie about what it's about, but they don't really have a good understanding of what's going on. The other thing is, we're talking to spirit. And if we're really honest, death is a taboo subject in this country. We don't really talk about it. And we don't really have an understanding of what it's about. And yet, spirit on the other side can teach us a lot about what happens in the transition called death. So let's learn a little bit here. You know, and let's start with that first. A lot of people think that when we die, that's the end of us. But we're made up of energy. Energy can actually be measured, and science is proving all of this right now. And I don't know how many of you work with pendulums. Pendulums are really good for measuring energy, and you can use just about anything for a pendulum as long as it's got a straight line and a little weight on the end of it. And you can just put it over your hand and measure your own energy. And the camera crew is laughing at me. Yeah, that's a lot of energy. And I almost always carry one of these. So if you see me walking around downtown and you don't believe that this hand was staying still, well, it'll still go, and I can hold on to my own hand and not move it. But if you don't believe that I'm not moving that's moving on its own, you're more than welcome to hold on to the hand, and I'll show you how they work. But we can measure energy, and we are energy. Now, the laws of physics say that energy is not created and it's not destroyed. So if we are energy, and we're not created and we're not destroyed, where does that energy go? Well, the common belief among psychics is that in that change called death, the person sheds their physical body and moves into a whole different level. Now, it's kind of like a rebirth. And one of the things that happens, you may go to a psychic after someone in your family has died, and the psychic can't get in touch with them. Birthing, I don't know if you've been around babies, they tend to sleep a lot. Well, if you're birthed into another world, there's a sleep period as well, a rest period, because that's really a very difficult transition for that energy body to go through. So the energy body tends to rest for a while, and you may or may not be able to contact that person for a while. Sometimes people will let themselves be known fairly quickly. Like someone that was close to me made the transition into death, and 3 days later was ordering fried zucchini at our table. A waiter just showed up with an order of fried zucchini that we knew had to have been a message from this particular spirit who had crossed. So sometimes they show up fairly quickly to let us know that they're there and that they're okay. For the most part, the psychic isn't able to contact that person for a while during that rest period. Now, there's also an understanding among most psychics that as above, so below. So what that means is the things that happen here and the way that we grow and move and work through our lives, that's what spirit also is doing. That they've achieved yet a higher level, but they're also now growing and working and moving through that particular level that they're on. So spirit doesn't always have the answer. They often have a lot of good opinions, but not always have the right answers for us. So if you're of the belief that when your body stops on this earth, that you stop, well, communication with spirit can help you to maybe understand that that's not necessarily the case. And what a cool thing to know that just because we stop here doesn't mean that we stop entirely, that we get to continue on and continue with the work that we're doing. And some of you are probably out there going, I thought I was going to get the rest. Well, you do for a little bit, but then things continue on. So, spirit communication is a good way of knowing, however, that we don't stop. So, now some people think that this psychic stuff is supernatural. And you'll see a lot of people on TV talk about it in that way. And supernatural implies that it's above or beyond things that are natural. Well, there's nothing that's above or beyond things that are natural in this world. Most people today refer to it as non-ordinary reality. And what that means is that this is perfectly normal. It's just not what everybody experiences. And that's the case because we can teach anyone how to do this. We can teach anyone how to communicate with spirit. One of the other things about conjuring energy is made up of vibration. And spirit has a higher vibration than we have on this planet. So phone call? No? Yeah, phone call. Look at that. Okay. A little communication, please. Do I need to pick up? Okay. Hi, it's Laura.
Hi, it's Adam.
Well, hi, Adam. How are you?
Good. Nice, wonderful question, because I'm working through stuff. How about, finding a stillness, that be still? How do you find that into yourself?
Oh, you're cheating. Hi, Angelique.
I know I'm cheating.
You're cheating. Uh-huh. Well, how do we handle this? This happens to be not only one of my students, but my son, who is cheating on his homework and finding the still point within. Are you still there, Adam?
Yes, I am.
You heard the baby cry?
What's that?
You heard the baby cry?
She's just playing with the computer.
Uh-huh, but you heard her make sound?
Yeah.
Enter the stillness from there.
Okay.
Listen, thanks for calling.
Yep.
And I will talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, bye-bye. So, we'll actually deal with that and maybe a little later tonight. So, but hi, Angelique. That's my grandchild. We're talking about conjuring right now and vibration. Spirit's on a higher vibration than we are on this plane. To communicate with Spirit, I have to raise my vibration, and Spirit has to agree to lower their vibration. And some of the ways that we do that, I tend to use a lot of music, because music is vibration, and happy, good, solid music will lift people's vibrations quicker than almost anything I know. And if you don't believe that, when you're driving along and you're feeling kind of down, click the radio on to some good tunes and you'll feel better. So there's no conjuring. Spirit has to agree to lower their vibrational level. We have to be able to raise our vibrational level, and hopefully those vibrational levels will come close enough together that at some point we'll be able to communicate. And that happens, and whenever we're sitting in a circle doing spirit communication, there's a lot of singing and there's a lot of work with using our vibration. We use a lot of voice vibration to help raise our level to meet them. And when you can get a group that works well together and get those vibrational levels up, it's amazing some of the things that can happen in a group. Now, some people are afraid that psychics are fortune tellers, or they're trying to control your life, that if I were to tell you that you were going to be in an automobile accident, that it's absolutely going to happen. What's most likely going to happen is, I'm going to say to you, like I said to one young man, is don't get into orange cars. And the kid thought I was, well, I'm a psychic. You know what the kid probably thought. But a few months later, he was out with some friends, and one of his buddies wanted him to get into an orange car and go off with him. And he knew that his buddy had had a little bit too much to drink. In the back of his head, he remembered that some crazy lady had told him, don't get into orange cars. And he shied away from it and found himself another ride. Very happy that he did, because that orange car wasn't an accident. And we don't know how badly he would have been injured, but it wasn't an accident. So a reputable psychic isn't going to say to you, you're going to be in a car crash and you're going to die. They're going to warn you, and then you have choice. We always have choice. there's always more than one path to take, and a psychic is not going to be telling you which path to take. That's going to be for you to do. So the psychics don't control your life. You have free choice. I once had a psychic tell me not to buy a pair of boots. They'd hurt my feet. Well, I bought the boots anyway, and yeah, they hurt my feet. So there's that. Now, one of the other things that happens when people come to psychics is they expect that we'll have all the answers. And you know, even the best psychic on the best day is not 100% accurate. So we don't have all of the answers. And people are afraid, that's kind of a double-edged sword. People are afraid that we're going to have all the answers, and yet when we don't, they're afraid that maybe we're not what we say we are. And that's just one of those things. You have to go person to person, and if it rings true, one of the things that I can tell you is I can't tell you anything that you don't already know inside yourself. So if you listen when you're with people and listen inside, you'll know whether they're telling you the truth or not, and you'll know every time, because nobody can tell you anything that you don't already know in here. Oh, one of the other things that happens when people come to psychics, they want names. They want names. Oh my God, I sat in a circle one night and everybody wanted names, 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 names. Now, if you know me and have ever sat in circle with me, you know that my clairaudience, which is clear hearing, or the receptive hearing that psychics have, my clairaudience isn't so good. That's not my strongest skill. I have other skills. So I don't hear names, but there's other ways to get the identification piece. And people sometimes will, if you can't get a name, then they're like, well, this isn't right, this isn't legit. You should be able to get a name. Well, I sat in circle one night where I couldn't get the name, but I kept telling the woman that whoever this was had a motorcycle, and every time I'd see this woman getting on the motorcycle would get really, really little. And it made no sense to me, and it made no sense to this woman. Fortunately, her mother was also sitting in this circle and said to her, honey, Grandpa was a Shriner, and he rode one of the little motorcycles. So, you know, it became quite apparent that Grandpa, even though I couldn't get Grandpa's name, it was Grandpa. So we get information in different ways, and you really have to be flexible and understand that, you know, it may not come exactly the way you want it, but we'll try to get it so that you understand who is there for you. One of the other things, again, is that Spirit does not have all of the answers, you know, and they may not be able to find Aunt Floss's money buried in the house, but they do have opinions, and you kind of also have to watch out for that, because they can sometimes joke with you and steer you right off course on something. And one of the last things is that makes it difficult for people to get into this whole psychic thing is that the psychic may not tell you what you want to hear. You may want that job in Denver, and the psychic may be sensing that that's probably not going to be the best thing for you. Again, you have free choice, and you're able to do what you want to do. When you're sitting with a psychic, it's best to try to be open and positive with that. And you know, we all learn by questioning, and I encourage people to come in and question in my circles. But if you keep an open mind and stay positive, that'll keep the energy up and increase the chances of being able to communicate with spirits, so that maybe we can get some of these answers for you and maybe get rid of some of the fears. one of the things that science is now showing is that this whole process of psychic phenomena may be a mind state or a process just like memory, learning, and that type of thing. So, you know, it is natural and it's part of us. The last thing is, and I've got a whole other talk on good and evil. And I know people don't want me to come into their home and do psychic circle because they're afraid that I'm going to leave some evil spirits there. Well, like attracts like. I don't work with that. I don't advise anyone to work with that. And the other thing is, you know, I'm looking to contact your grandma, people that you want to talk to. And like attracts like. We'll talk about natural laws a little later as we go along too. So grandma's not going to hurt you, hopefully. So we'll kind of leave it there. Now, the homework for this week to improve your own psychic skills. What you're going to do is you're going to think about a decision you're trying to make, form it as a yes or no question, okay? Then you're going to get a coin, a weight, and don't ask, should I go to Denver or Atlanta? That is a yes or no question. But as my students will tell you, if you ask a double question like that and the answer is yes, how do you know whether you're supposed to go to Atlanta or you're supposed to go to Denver? So be very clear and only one question. Then you're going to take a coin, you're going to flip it. Heads is yes, tails is no. Okay. What answer do you get? And then there are a couple of questions you got to ask yourself. How did you feel about the answer? Are you disappointed? You relieved? Are you thrilled? Are you afraid? Did you want to flip for the best 2 out of 3? You only get one flip. So form your question, flip your coin, heads yes, tails no. What was your answer? And I'm going to expect to get some calls next time. See, we're going to be on again the 21st, 8 o'clock, right here. And you can call and let me know how your homework went. Please feel free to get in contact with me at my website, wisdomriverlodge.com. There's a contact page there where you can talk right to me. And I can answer questions online. That was the question that we answered tonight came from online. So contact me. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I can help you with finding answers to some of the questions that you have. So have a good one, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll leave the light on in the lodge for you.